What is up, everyone? Tonight, I want to talk to you about electrolytes on carnivore and keto and just in general because so many of you guys are dehydrated, chronically dehydrated. You don't recognize the symptoms and how it affects, let's say, your blood sugar or your sleep or the restless leg syndrome so many people are developing on carnivore, the heart palpitations, hard to breathe, chronic low grade or migraine headaches. I mean, you can't make all this stuff up. So basically, when you cut out your carbohydrates, carbs make you hold on to water, which makes in the cells, and then the cells are holding on to minerals. This is just a simplified way to express this. When you drop your carbs, you drop a lot of water via your kidneys. And if you don't consume enough salt or magnesium or potassium, and some calcium, you're gonna feel this is what people okay. I got to preface this. When I first did keto, I didn't notice anything for 5 years. I was like, oh my God, so fabulous. Everything's amazing. I didn't feel bad. I didn't feel dehydrated. I didn't feel like the muscle cramps. But out of nowhere, my body was like, girl, we catching up to you. We're figuring you out. Then when it did come, it was a complete clusterfuck of a mess. And I mean, it was a mess. I started to develop rib cramps right here on my left side, and like the whole thing would knot up, right? And then my toes, if I just bent them slightly, they'd like stick. And I was barely doing electrolytes. I wasn't really paying attention. I was talking about them in my old YouTube videos, but I was being a hypocrite and not minding them myself. Then my calves started locking up. And I mean, on a level where it hurt, like I was pounding on my calves. That didn't happen in the day as much, but at night, the day was like rib cramps. I'd be at the gym and I'd be like, oh, people would be talking to me. I'd be like doubled over. So then I started to develop a melasma on my skin because I didn't understand the low levels of magnesium I was experiencing, which was affecting my adrenals, aldosterone, and affecting my sex hormones. I know, not a good idea. I thought I was drinking enough water, and the longer you're on a carnivore diet or a keto diet, you won't notice this at first, but you got to pee all the time, all night. Like, for example, you might have too much sodium. Your body's going to be like, we have too much sodium and not enough potassium. We're going to start dumping some of that sodium. Or you could have too high. And it's really weird because the sodium potassium, when you have too little sodium, it skyrockets your potassium and you'll feel nauseous. And when you have uh, too much sodium, it drops your potassium and you feel nauseous. When you have too much sodium, your body is like trying to get rid of the salt. And when you have not enough sodium, your body will pull it from the blood. That's a problem because this is going to affect your adrenal system. Your kidneys are not going to be able to function properly without enough water up in there, right? Because they work as a filtration system. You can't make this stuff up. It's like so many of the clients that I work with are going through some kind of dehydration and all the way down to I can't sleep or my skin's dry or I got dry eyes and they have a lower level of this mucin. They develop a mucin or mucin deficiency because they don't watch their electrolytes. A lot of people aren't eating enough fat. People become constipated. Like, I don't know. I did carnivore and I was constipated. I was like, yeah, your body's used to fiber. Not that you need fiber to poop, but if your colon is used to it and then you cut it out and you're not minding your electrolytes and you're eating all that protein and it's got to go through the kidneys, blocked up, legit. But then if you're eating fatty meat, you don't address your thyroid, I mean, not your thyroid, your gallbladder, you can do uh, damage and have cholesterol back up into the gallbladder. And now your gallbladder is feeling weird because you're doing a bunch of protein, those 2 pounds, that priming nonsense. So I took some notes because to keep me on track to kind of remember some of the things I wanted to talk about, like Oh, yeah. When your potassium is too low, you overheat. Women with those hot flashes, check your electrolytes. Check your adrenal function because that's playing a huge role, especially on a keto or carnivore diet. We've got chronic UTIs from low potassium, and so many of you doing carnivore aren't getting potassium. When you have too much water and when you don't have enough water, which is typical for a lot of people, and too much salt, then this makes your blood sodium go up, and this is making your kidneys work harder. You got kidneys working hard, you have your adrenals working hard. You have to be really, really careful. You may not be getting enough oxygen to the heart, and over years of this, you can damage your heart from not balancing your electrolytes. Don't mess with this stuff, my people. Don't think you're going to get all the salt from the meat, and people are like, "Oh, I get it all from organ meat," or no, you don't. No, you don't. Especially our ruminant animals aren't getting enough from the soil, so they are depleted, and so are we. Yeah. Oh, obviously thirst. If you're feeling more thirsty, or some people are just drinking and drinking and drinking, like the bottomless pit of drinking water, and you're still thirsty. You're diluting your sodium. It's a problem. You need enough sodium and you need enough potassium so the muscles can contract, so your nervous system knows what to do. People get super brain foggy when they have too low potassium or too high sodium. Like, you got to pay attention. Okay. So, also, the thyroid is massively, like when you guys are hair is falling out, massively connected to being dehydrated, because now the liver is, because liver's not functioning properly, nor is your kidneys, and the liver can't make those thyroid hormones. So, if you're on the verge with underlying thyroid either symptoms or clinical diagnosed, you got to really make sure that you're hydrated. And hydration does not mean water. You can drink and drink and drink water, and like I said, dilute the minerals in your body and destroy your body. Everybody has a sweet spot, and you got to find that. So that's like between 8 and 10 glasses, which is about 64 to 90 ounces. So 2 to 2.5 liters for those who live in the rest of the world. Um, yeah, so dehydration makes it hard to make the thyroid hormone in your liver. Yes, the signal between the thyroid and the liver. Yeah. So let me go and pull this up and give you more of a visual of some of the symptoms. Kablammy! Now, people who either talk a lot about science, they don't talk about it to your lifestyle or to the diet that you're doing. Like I said, low carb people, massively dehydrated. You guys, you got to be on your potassium. So I'm going to go through some of the forms of sodium, potassium, and break it down so you guys have a better understanding. So if I blow this up, I just did a simple Google search because there's so much crap. I'll show you guys. Let's see here. So look at all this stuff on it. They give you a bunch of corny visuals, but let me see. This one says the weird signs of dehydration would be, of course, fatigue. See, there's things I forget when I'm talking. You're gonna feel tired. hmm The bad breath, obviously. Trouble losing weight, your hunger cravings, and people get confused between dehydration and hungry. The dark urine, dark yellow urine. Obviously, you're not peeing enough or peeing too much. Bloating, a dry skin, dry eyes, not sweating or sweating too much, because that could be potassium deficiency if you start to sweat too much with heart palps. Let's see here. The skin lacks elasticity, clearly, for those who are doing really starvation diets, and they lose a lot of minerals. Doing that with this intermittent fasting will make you drop minerals like in 2 seconds. Dark circles under the eyes or puffy eyes, constipation, joint pain, UTIs, muscle cramps, muscle face twitches, headaches, getting sick often, stiffness, heartburn, dry eyes, and of course, muscle weakness from not balancing your electrolytes. So let me sort of explain this. Like, when I was doing keto in the very beginning, I could lift and I could feel this lactic acid burn, right? Because I don't have enough exterior cellular water or interior cellular water because I wasn't watching my electrolytes. So I started losing strength because my muscles can't contract properly. But you wouldn't even notice it. It's so small. And then it starts to gradually bother you when you're working out or running or going up a flight of stairs. You get more lactic acid burn, and you may not even notice it at first, but it'll creep up on you. And these are some of the things that other people aren't talking about when they're just promoting how amazing the diet is. They're not explaining that how easy it is to lose your electrolyte balance when you do a carnivore diet because you're not getting enough of your, let's say, potassium in the meat. But with keto, if you have an avocado, you're good to go, especially 2 a day. You can also get a pretty good amount when you combine your meat with like a cruciferous vegetable. But other forms of potassium could be in like oysters, but you got to find a brand that is high in oyster extract and doesn't have maltodextrin in it because that's a problem. Seafood has potassium in it. Chicken, beef, it all has potassium, but you have to eat gobs and gobs of meat to get to enough potassium to balance with your sodium, and that doesn't work. And then again, like I prefaced earlier, you have to know how much water you as the individual needs. Because I was outside today for hours and I just started sweating. And I was like, uh-oh, run and get some water because you've done this for so many years. You know that headache's about to pop off if you don't start drinking some water. And this is the glass I had outside. It's so dirty from touching the horses and touching the glass. But the longer you're on a carnivore diet, the more you're dehydrated, the more you can have health issues with your thyroid, with your adrenal function, with aldosterone, with your kidneys, with kidney pain. You can lower your GFR. You can do so much damage by not managing your electrolytes because everyone's like, oh my God, like it's so fine. You just get it from meat or take Element or Keto Chow. And these are like, they use chlorides. Chlorides are very dangerous for your kidneys. You don't want to do chlorides, my people, not potassium. You can do a magnesium chloride for lotion or spray, but not orally. And people really need to know the difference between all of these things, right? So if I go and pull up some more stuff, I'm actually writing material for my challenge. I don't know how many videos I've said the signups are not ready yet because I'm still designing the challenge, but I will announce it soon where I will take all this information, condense it so it's not so confusing, right? So, for example, the potassium regulation, it is a sodium reabsorption of aldosterone, which facilitates the excretion of potassium ions. A lot of you guys are going to be like, what? Right? Potassium ions in the urine. So this stimulates the secretion of potassium into your urine, which helps then maintain the appropriate potassium levels in the body, right? So when you have sodium reabsorption with aldosterone facilitating the excretion of potassium, because you don't want your potassium to get too high. It always must balance with your sodium. The problem is a lot of people do a lot of salt. They're like, I love salt. And I'm like, that's why you're so jacked up. That's why you're tired. That's why you're gaining weight. That's why you're not sleeping. That's why you're headachy. That's why you're brain foggy and irritable. So be very, very careful not to do too much salt and not enough potassium because that's typically the problem. And you got people who are afraid of salt, and then all of a sudden the potassium levels go up, and it becomes a problem because your body starts trying to pull sodium from places, and you become majorly dehydrated. Let's see here. See the stress response. So aldosterone levels can be influenced by stress with certain conditions, like if you're in the fight or flight mode, right? So we have to be careful with the acid-base balance. Aldosterone influences the regulation of acid in your body, right? So we don't want our aldosterone to be too high or too low because this is going to affect your blood pressure, uh, high or low, right? High or low, because there's a decrease. If you have a decrease of aldosterone in your blood, the blood volume, especially in the cells in the kidneys, release the enzyme called renin, and this converts into angiodensinogen produced in the liver, and this converts and becomes a vasoconstrictor that stimulates the release of aldosterone, then acts on the kidneys to increase sodium reabsorption and water retention. And your body's constantly trying to balance your sodium and potassium. Like if you're not eating enough salt, then your potassium goes too high. And if you're eating too much potassium, it'll yeah, no, too much sodium drops potassium, too much potassium drops sodium, and your body through aldosterone is trying to rebalance that inside the cell and outside the cellular levels by either pulling stuff out of your blood or peeing a lot, right? And then you've got those weird symptoms that I just read. Let's see here. Um, okay, so magnesium, it affects your hormones, like I said before, and your fluid balance, and as well as vasopressin. Men are more vasopressin driven, so the antidiuretic hormone. Vasopressin regulates the water reabsorption in the kidneys. So this is why we need magnesium for our electrolytes. Let me see. So magnesium is essential to with the sodium potassium. It helps to regulate the fluid balance within the cell and the extracellular space. Yeah. So basically, at the end of the day, we have magnesium to help balance um, your sodium and potassium levels, which is all about cellular hydration. And so, if we go over some more of these symptoms again, let's talk about, let's see here. Mm, because, like I said, it's going to affect your breathing. I can hear people when they're potassium deficient because they're gasping for air. Dizziness is another one that I didn't mention. So it says the human body needs, so this is intracellular and extracellular fluid. So you need 24% for your bone, 80% for your skin, my people, 85% in your blood, 75% for your brain, which is why people get brain fog, 90% for your lungs, which is why people gasp for air, and in your heart, and 75% for the muscle. So that equates for these kind of weird symptoms that people are getting. Let me see some of these other things. So that's why people are like, oh my God, my heart's beating like crazy. I'm like, you are dehydrated and this is potassium deficiency, my people. That's another one. Super, super. Like I've got people going to the hospital because they're like, my heart rate's going crazy. And I'm like, you're dehydrated. Be very careful. Nausea is another one I keep forgetting. I started to develop nausea while doing keto years ago, and I had no clue. It's because I was potassium deficient. No clue at all. Let's see if we have any more here. Again, this is another image of showing you like your eyes, your heart, your lungs, your kidneys, your brain, your blood, and your bones, like the hydration levels. You guys can see this. It's so important to stay hydrated because see that she got water almost up to her shoulders. Your cellular water is so low, and the constipation comes because your body's trying to pull water from everywhere, even out Djibouti. And I don't mean Djibouti, the country. It'll pull water out of your colon, which will turn your stool into rock nuggets. You just can't poop at all. And then if you guys can't poop for too long, then the colon begins to swell and that muscle won't squeeze anymore, right? The motility will become weakened. Let me see if we got some more symptoms here. So we get headaches. We talked about that. Dry eye, swollen tongue. Low blood pressure is from potassium. It's chronic dehydration, potassium deficiency. Nausea, muscle cramps, low mood, cold hands and cold feet, which is now your thyroid is being affected. Dry mouth, heart palpitations, dry skin, low energy, dark circles, smelly pee, dark pee. Yeah. Let's see what this one says. It's all blurry. I can't see. It's not good. Okay, maybe here's another one. Let's see. Hydrated, mildly dehydrated. Start to increase water intake. Also, you guys, it takes like 40 minutes for your body to especially when you're drinking cold water, for the water from when you're drinking to hit your cells. So you need to start drinking water before you hit the gym. You can't just start drinking it while once you start sweating because your workout performance is going to tank. And this is another reason why you guys cannot sleep very well. When your electrolytes are imbalanced, you lose the hormone ADH, which is antidiuretic hormone. That hormone starts to tank, and then you start peeing all night long, especially when your sodium is too high. I hope this is not confusing you guys because it is a thing. It is a thing to learn about your body. See if I missed anything else that I can mention to you guys. And this is more prevalent with people who do low carb, especially keto or carnivore diets. Okay. So a lot of you guys are having like thyroid problems and cognitive issues, mood issues, water retention, like you're like puffy and you're gaining a lot of water weight for a couple of days and you lose a lot of weight. It's like people start doing this fasting nonsense and they'll be like gaining weight up and down per day and they think they're losing and gaining fat, but you're not. I thought I'd blend this up. Let me see if I go through this a little bit more. Yeah, let me see. Hydrated, mildly hydrated, dehydrated, extremely dehydrated. Okay, that's their. What is this? Oh, yeah. The diuretics, my people. Alcohol, right? This will dehydrate you. People are doing this cyclic ketogenic diet. Please don't do that. You're going to just severely tank your electrolytes. The coffee, tank your electrolytes beyond measure. Do not drink coffee beyond your adenosine receptors being flooded with adrenaline. It dehydrates you on a level that, it's not good. See if you're having trouble losing weight. These are people going on carnivore. They're like, oh my God, I lost a lot of weight at first. And all of a sudden, you can't lose weight anymore. Hunger cravings, dark urine, not peeing enough or peeing too much, bloated. Because when you don't balance your electrolytes, you go from really, really cellular swelling to peeing too much and becoming your skin is just not tight anymore. Yeah. So the things that I experienced, my people, was like nausea was a big one. Uh, Rib cramps, rib potassium. In the day, if you have eye twitching, that's like potassium deficiency. Eye twitching, where's up? I used to have that as a kid. You feel this like a in the face or in your hand would start twitching. That's potassium. Yes. Yes. Um, Let me see here. In the daytime when you have like really bad cramps at the gym or something like that, it's a combination between water, magnesium, and potassium. All three are like jacked up in. If you guys are having leg cramps and you're like, I'm doing the magnesium glycinate, then take some magnesium chloride lotion and put it on your legs before you go to bed. Right? We just don't want to over magnesium your body. So if you're doing an oral magnesium glycinate and it doesn't work, then lower your glycinate down to 2 to 400 and then put some lotion on your legs or wherever you're having the cramps when you go to bed. I'm telling you, having the experiences with this myself is everything. The melasma, the weakness at the gym, the poor sleep at night, the weight gain, weight loss because it's just okay? You have to take care of the body with the being hydrated. And I'll have consultations. People don't drink water. I'm like, my people, you have to drink water all day long. If you're doing carbs, it's not as strict. If you're doing low carb, high fat, it's not as strict. And I suggest 2 avocados a day. You don't need to count the carbs or yeah, you don't have to count the carbs because of the fat and the fiber slow down the rate at which the carbohydrates get into your blood so your blood sugar doesn't spike unless you have a histamine response to avocados. What else can I think of on this deep dive of electrolytes? Hmm. I think I've hit this is a video I think I can do 20,000 times. Right now, I'm trying to take all of that information and take it down to bullet points that when you do my course, you can read this in 1 minute or 2 minutes and then go, okay, I need to do this. I need this much potassium, either citrate or bicarbonate or glycinate, right? So I've just been reading right now how the safest ones are citrate and best ones are potassium citrate and which is also citrate is good for magnesium citrate and potassium citrate are good to dissolve any type of stones in your kidneys, your gallbladder. But the chlorides orally, it's a big no for both. Remember that. Always remember that. If you go look at your keto chow or your element, they use chlorides. Not good. Yeah. Anyway, you guys, I've got to get back to work with all of my challenge stuff. It's like half the stuff I write down on a piece of paper, the other stuff I'm putting into the computer. I have the challenge information. It's puzzle piecing everything together where it doesn't sound like an information dump like this video. This video is an information dump. It's almost too confusing. So the biggest thing is comment below and tell me the things that you feel that are most important for you to learn about your electrolytes. Comment below. Don't forget to hit the notification bell that says all. Share this content so people can find me. Let me see here. You're always gonna drink a little bit more water and have a little bit more sodium during the summer, and that's between 5 to 6 grams of salt, which is a teaspoon, my people. People are doing tablespoons. That's when your electrolytes tank. You friggin' have too much salt, it'll drop your potassium, and then all the nausea and the twitching and the heart palps all go bananas and berserko on your body. In your body. I'm sorry, not on your body, but in the body. Yeah, and you won't have the energy. You'll be like, oh, I don't feel good. Yes. All right, my people. Thank you so much for tuning into my channel. Don't forget that you can also find me on Instagram, which is Stephanie Ketogenic. Also, my Facebook fan page, which is Stephanie the Business Person. I'm 55, going on 56, and I got some energy. Although I really worked my ass off a little bit too hard today. I was doing, I'll show you guys. I was doing the freaking handstand push-ups at the gym today. I was cranking it out. This is the reason why Stephanie needs to be kinder to her body. Let me show you, my people. This is my Instagram here. So you guys go to my Instagram, Stephanie Ketogenic, and you can check out some tips and tricks on. Let me get rid of this image. There we go. Here we go. Check out this. My lovely people, organic just doesn't mean anything anymore. No, it doesn't. Besides the plant toxins, right? The oxalic acid, oxalates, and things of this nature, phytic acid. Well, let's just put it this way. Let's go to the next one. Oh, no. Shoot, this freaking music. Oh, my God. I swear we have to watch everything we do. Yep. So this is me at 55, going on 56. I learned handstands in my late 40s, so everybody can learn anything at any age. But you got to get your electrolytes in balance or you can't be doing that stuff. Okay? I'm just saying. Or doing this stuff. Actually, I'll post these videos in my YouTube shorts. That booty, though. So, yeah. I showed you guys in my other video how flat my butt was years ago and how much work it takes to inflate the glutes. But so you guys take care, comment below, let me know what you're confused about with your electrolytes and more information to come, and I will tell you when the challenge is ready. My calendar is open for consultations if you guys feel like you need help with your carnivore keto journey. I'm right here to keep you straight. Nothing's easy, and everything in life is worth working very, very hard for. So if it's easy, if somebody tells you that something's easy, they're not being completely honest. And don't fast. That'll tank your electrolytes in about 2 nanoseconds, my people. Do not fast. All right. And we're done with this. I'll upload it. Peace. Energy.